Hello and welcome to the Comicspairacy Podcast, episode 510 for the week of Monday, August 2nd, 2021. Monday podcast. We'll talk about that in a minute. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here this week?
Brock Sager.
And Kevin.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So, before we get started, we did miss last week. Brock can...
I wouldn't say we missed last week.
Well, we did.
I would say we just...
couldn't
do it.
we could not record last week.
We could have. It would have just been a shit show.
Like on Thursday or Friday or something like that. So for those that follow us on social media or our customers at the store, we have been busy. We have been extremely busy.
Holy shit. It never ends.
Our weekly shipments on Tuesdays went from, a decent amount of stuff to an absolute just unbelievable, amazing, ridiculous amount of stuff coming out every single week. We went from 5 or 6 boxes to 15, 20 boxes. What we used to finish up Tuesdays when we recorded in store. Get the stuff on the wall, process everything, put the books up.
We were done about like 6:30.
Yeah, it'd be super easy. And now it's like, forget it. I mean, we were there till like 9:30 last week, and that was a little bit, our shipment was a little late, so,
It was 8:30. It wasn't 9:30.
By the time we got out?
It was only 8:30. You had already canceled.
By the time we left like past 9 o'clock last week.
It was only 8:30.
I could go check the alarms. When we left, it was past 9 o'clock. I didn't get home till like after 9:30.
Yeah, because you had to stop and get food.
We were late. So, Geekbox, which is a podcast I do, we moved to alternating weeks just because of some scheduling conflicts. So the idea here is that we're moving back to our old Monday nights, which is what we used to do years and years ago. We used to do Monday nights for Comicspairacy. Doing this remote has made it a little bit different because we just schedules. I don't even know if it would allow us to really be in the store. We're all kind of in different places now. People aren't coming off from work. Charlie's home with his family more. Kevin's hours are different. Me and Brock, I mean, again, people could come, but like we wouldn't be ready to record till 8 o'clock or something like that most nights at the shop. We used to start at like 6:30, 6:45. It just doesn't make any sense to do Tuesdays anymore. They're so long. It's just not possible. So the plan going forward is we're going to do alternating Mondays, but that doesn't mean we're moving to every other week. We're actually going to kind of bop around to Sundays as well on those other weeks. At least that's the plan for now. We'll see how it goes over the next few weeks. So hopefully the scheduling works out okay. And I know Charlie and Toby are generally free Sundays, and Sundays are pretty quiet days. But that means
Sunday's just busy for me, unless we get it on a week that Marshall's. If we keep it on this schedule, I'm good because Marshall has those Sundays.
I mean, in theory, this is the Monday, and then next will be Sunday, and next will be Monday, and next will be Sunday, just because we alternate with Geekbox, which is kind of a set schedule now. So, that was the problem. We were kind of we do every other week with Geekbox, then we do 3 in a row, then we do 2, then we'd skip a week, and we was like, no, look, we're going to stick to every other week. We can do it. Mondays are fine, which then let us move to this schedule. So I'm not going to change the podcast too much. Podcast, in theory, should go up Monday nights now. Even the Sunday recordings, we'll just put up Monday night just so it's consistent.
Because everybody likes consistency.
I think I have it. I think it says Tuesday nights on some places, so I'll have to change it to Monday nights. And there still could be Tuesday morning episodes if we're super late on a Monday. I'll do a Tuesday morning instead. Just like on Geek, just like before, it was generally Tuesday nights, but it'd be done at like midnight West Coast time, so it wasn't like it was up at like 8 p.m. or something. We don't record till 9 p.m. Pacific time. So, look for it generally Tuesday mornings, very early Tuesday mornings for most of the country.
Unless Ryan's having a freak out about where the books are.
Well, no freak out. It's not a freak out. I'm just used to delays. Like tomorrow, as of 3 o'clock, I thought we were not getting comics tomorrow. Just flat out not. And maybe not Wednesday. We had no idea. And now they're like, oh, wait, no, we got them. They're coming up tomorrow. You see them tomorrow morning. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, shipments are an absolute shit show right now. UPS, in fact, it's not their fault. I mean, there's so much stuff shipping. There's so many big deliveries. Things are late. They don't have enough employees. I'm not mad. We just got to figure out when stuff is getting here. But we're seemingly, knock on wood, avoiding yet another Wednesday delay for comics. So we should have everything up and ready for Wednesday instead of Thursday. Yeah. Oh, wait.
Oh no.
We have someone joined us. Charlie joined us.
I'm back finally.
You made it. Hello.
Oh.
Thought you were busy.
We just finished, and I'm like, it's okay. I can stop. And they just started.
Well, you did. We did. Excellent. There you go. Fantastic. Well, we were just explaining to everyone how busy we've been at the shop and everyone's schedule and everything. So this is perfect because we're going to move on to all our topics. So, Charlie, long and the short of it is, we'll be doing Mondays and Sundays alternating, and look in our podcast group for the schedule. So.
Yeah.
Good news, Charlie. You're just in time for sales charts.
I was going to say, good to have you back on. It's been a while.
So I can just guess Batman and Spider-Man.
Well,
is California.
One of the funny thing about sales charts is that they've started to do the diamond chart again, right when it's about to become totally useless. Because they're not going to distribute. I mean, they're still distributing Marvel, but that's not where most stores are going to be getting Marvel from. So, yeah, I as of this catalog that just loaded, the August catalog for October shipping books, this is the first set of titles that are going to be available. Marvel comics, both. We've already been ordering graphic novels from Penguin Random House that will start shipping in October. But this is now for the first time since Capital. Was it Capital? Right? Capital was the one they owned, right? Since the late 90s, that Marvel has not been distributed by Diamond Comics. Or not primarily distributed by Diamond Comics.
So I can't wait for the Diamond top list to be like, the top book at 10,000 copies is...
Oh, it's going to be all Image and Spawn or Image and Boom, right? I mean, that's what it's going to be. I expect there are definitely people.
Those nude covers are finally going to get their due on the charts, man.
There are definitely people that are going to continue buying Marvel stuff from Diamond. Absolutely, it's not even a question. But it's not.
I want to know what their top book is going to number of copies. That's just what I'm curious.
We'll find out soon.
House of Slaughter.
Oh, well, sure. In the next catalog, yeah.
I just mean not the book title. I'm just curious about the number of copies specifically.
Well, I mean, some of these Image and Boom books are selling big numbers. I'm pretty confident they have multiple copies over 100,000 copies. Multiple books over 100,000 copies. There are big. Books coming out from these guys now. Not every book, right? Mostly number ones, but they have some big books.
So I can't look forward to reporting Amazing Spider-Man, whatever issue at 20,000 copies or something like that from Diamond.
Oh, I think Amazing Spider-Man will be 4,000 copies through Diamond. I can't imagine. Again, I think the vast majority of shops will go through Penguin Random House.
But I don't smaller shops. Why would people still continue with the discount that's worse through Diamond than going to Penguin Random House?
Lazy. They don't want to set up.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's going to be very different month 1 versus month 2 versus month 3, etc.
Yeah, if you're dropping down to Penguin is flat 50% regardless of your account. Midtown and Discount Comic Book Services, us, and the card shop that gets 5 copies of Marvel Comics for their 3 walk-in customers all have the same discount through Penguin Random House. That's not the case with Diamond. That's not the case with Lunar. So, yeah, I could see some places sticking with Diamond just out of,
habit.
Because, but if you're a 35% account, you can go to Penguin and get 50. I don't see why you wouldn't. 50 and free shipping. I don't see why you wouldn't do that. You get a huge bump in your discount if you're a small store. For us, it does maybe hurt a little bit. The free shipping offsets that, and we'll see how quality is. Diamond clearly is. This is when they need. I talked about this the other week, I believe. This is when they needed to be at their best, and we've just had problem after problem after problem. Nothing totally out of the norm, but they should be aiming for 100% right now, and it's just same as it always is with Diamond.
It's worse. Like in just the few weeks that I've been helping out more with unboxing over the summer, it's worse and worse and worse.
It's not worse. It's the same. It just feels like some weeks are bad. It's the same as it always is. There's just constant problems. Like we've had weeks where we're missing entire copies of multiple books. We have weeks where it's fine. We have weeks where it's $100 in damages. We have weeks where it's a couple $100 in damages.
You got weeks where the 1 in 500 signed copy is shipped the worst way humanly possible.
Like I said, we were not the only one that had that problem. A lot of stores had a problem with the Mother of Madness signed edition. So, it's gonna be wonky. But luckily, our good friends at Comichron have continued to update their sales, so we're able to or update their sales chart, so we're able to kind of get a peek at the industry based on the number of resources that Comichron and ICV2 uses to make the sales charts. And as of last month, we also now have our own top 10, which thanks to a good friend of ours, we're able to go through, and our good friend Adam, we're able to go through and actually add up combined variant covers and combined reprints and incentive covers and everything like that into some nice sales charts. So let's see how our sales do compared to the national sales. You guys can do the guessing game with the national, and then I'll run through our own personal sales. So this is June, and we're going to get July sales charts pretty soon, so we'll probably end up doing this again in a week or two.
All right, so everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3. Batman.
There are
this, okay?
There are two Batman and a Batman connected title on here. Batman 109 is the number 5 book. Batman Fortnite 0 Point number 4 is the number 9 book. And Joker number 4 is the number 10 book. So you get 3 of the top 10 go to the Bat family. Anyone want to guess something else?
And then we go Spider-Man.
No Spider-Man in the top 10.
No Spider-Man? So sad, so sad.
Yeah, in the 20s, but not in the top 10.
Did Something Killing the Children hit the top 10 yet?
No. That's actually surprising. That's number 17. Yeah, they hit number 23, which is obviously really good sales.
Yeah.
But you're close.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, is it that spin-off?
It's not a spin-off, but it is. If you're buying something that's killing the children, you probably also bought the first issue of Nice House on the Lake. James Tynion from DC Comics.
Hey, quick question.
Number 8 book.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Aren't they doing Something That's Killing the Children spin-off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. House of Slaughter. Yeah.
Can we just say art like writers at this point? Because doesn't he have like more books in the top 10?
He's going to have 4 or 5 books in the top 25 every month. It's crazy. It's crazy. Tynion's just absolutely killing it. There you go. We got 10, 9. We got 8. We're missing 7 and 6. One guess will get you both.
7 and 6?
Remember, there was a big party going on in June. I don't know if you remember. Everyone was invited.
Oh, God.
All the hot celebrities were invited.
X-Men Hellfire.
To the biggest party of the Marvel Universe. X-Men 21, the final issue, not actually by Hickman, is the number 7 book, and Planet Size X-Men number 1 is the number 6 book. We got Batman with 5.
Is just brimming. Ooh.
So we're missing 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Is Berserker
number 4
on this?
Oh, Berserker, good guess. Berserker number 3 is the number 4 book. Yeah, big sales for Berserker. Now we finally, at least in store, the wheels came off with number 4. So I was concerned. I didn't know how 3 was going to do. I thought 3 might be the one where everyone drops off, at least for us personally. But 3 still sold very well for us. For this past week, it's done. It's still selling well, but like the people coming in for the incentive covers and all the variants and stuff like that, we've hit the the point where the spectacle of Berserker is done. So we got number 3.
That was 4. Berserker was 4.
Yep, that's number 4. Yep, we got number 3. It's a Marvel
issue 2,
book,
right? Or issue 3?
Issue 3 for Berserker. Yep, number 3. It's a Marvel book. It's a big event, but not a traditional Marvel comic. But it's the start of a big event.
It's not Children of the Atom.
It's not the start of the big event.
Is it Heroes Reborn?
No superheroes in this one.
Oh.
But I don't know. Maybe they'd be considered superheroes if you were to travel to a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, God, the Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
War of the Bounty Hunter, number 1. Technically not the start, but the first issue of the, they had the prelude, but the start of the big event. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunter, number 1.
Start of the it's 40 issue tie-in books.
It might be more than that. It's a lot. It's 6 months across. 6 titles plus all the one shots.
I think one of our wonderful customers, who we all love very much, he said, "I thought I was signing up for something cool, and then I realized, oh God, how many books there are going to be." It's a
big event. Yeah. All right, number 2. Number 2 is an Image title. It's the start of let's see if this empire can expand well beyond what the last 25 years, 30 years has proven. It is a once hot, then all but dead, and now top of the chart book once again. This is the start of multiple ongoing titles, all launch out of this book. He
once hot, then dead.
The creator of this book is also the co-creator of the number 1 title, which we'll get to in a second. How many Image books were around 30 years ago that are still around today that would be the number 2 book of the month? Spawn Universe number 1.
King Spawn or Spawn King or
Spawn Universe number 1 is the number 2 book of the month.
That means number 1 is The Shield.
No.
Took you a second on that.
However, Todd McFarlane did co-create was there for the co-creation of a very popular anti-hero villain that wrapped up a ridiculously popular run. Just wrapped
Venom?
up. Venom. Yep. Donny Cates himself. Issue 35 of Venom, which had you know what? I can actually tell how many. I have 14 variant covers listed that we sold for Venom number 35 at a $10 book. So yeah, Venom 35. Venom 35, obviously the major book, not only the number 1 selling by unit, the number 1 seller by dollar as well. No question asked, because that's a very pricey book. So, what people say, people don't want to pay for comics. There are 3 $3.99 comics on this list, 4 $4.99, 3 $5.99, and 1 $9.99. So again, those big issues top the charts every time. People are buying them. So if you go to our list, we'll go top 10 from our list. It's very similar. Just things are a little bit out of order here. There's only one, I think, maybe only 1 or 2 of these that were not on that list. And I will just because it's obviously I'm a fan of this. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow number 1 did crack. It's at number 11, just shy of the top 10.
That was really good.
It's got that Tom King bump, obviously. For us, it's Tom King's a big seller. Number 10, Berserker number 3. Number 9, Batman Fortnite number 5, which I was not on that list. Number 8 was Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 1. Number 7 was Joker 4. Number 6 was Spawn Universe number 1. Number 5 was Batman Fortnite 0. number 4. Number 4 was Venom 35. And number 3 is Batman Catwoman 5, which I think they have Batman Catwoman down at number 15 in the national charts. Number 2 was Batman 109, and number 1 was Nice House on the Lake number 1 by a large margin over everyone else. Very large, and we sold out. So, I ordered for, and Nice House is, where were we? Number 8. I mean, I ordered for what I thought would be months, and we sold out in weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, big sales on SS on the Lake. Number 2 did very well. It's obviously a lot of speculation with number 1, but yeah, Venom 2 clear. SS number 1 clearly did very well.
Well, it had returnability, so it was.
Yeah, I should have once again tripled my order. Would have done okay with that. But if you want to go dollar amount, Venom 35. Again, not twice, but maybe 60% higher value than the next previous issue. Obviously, sales on Venom were crazy. Huge book. Huge book. Yeah, so that's our sales charts for this month. Obviously, it's it's a good month. It's a good month for comic sales.
But comics are dying.
Well, of course.
The industry's dead.
Of course, it always is. Hey, guys, before we move on, we're going to talk about our new friends over at 9panel.com. 9panel.com is run by collectors who spent the last 4 years of working with local comic shops, convention dealers, and online sellers to develop a better way to buy and sell comics online. It's easy to search for key books or browse by comic-specific categories. On 9panel.com, you can buy from as many shops as you want in a single checkout. All the transactions are secure and protected. If you want to sell comics, you can set your own policies, create a custom branded shop page with filters, search features for buyers, and 9panel's smart listing process helps you create better listings in less time. 9panel is a marketplace built just for comics by comic collectors who love comic books. Check out 9panel.com today and buy a comic book. All right, we are going to move on to some other topics. We got a couple questions on Twitter we'll get to before we go out. Going to be a nice, not a crazy Q&A, not 12 movies to talk about, but that's going to change soon because we have Suicide Squad next week.
Yep.
We have Stargirl season 2. We have Titans season 3, and we can talk about the Titans trailer because that just dropped. And we have What If is shortly,
like the 20-something of August.
Yeah. No. Is What If next week too? August 11th?
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Next week is. Yeah, it is next week too.
Yeah, it drops.
Yeah,
Titans and it drops at the the same week.
Titans, What If?
Oh, that's right.
And Stargirl, right? Doesn't Stargirl the same week?
I don't know. I haven't watched even season 1.
Yeah, Stargirl is August 10th. Yep. So it's the same right the day before. So we are going to be absolutely stacked with comic, movie, and TV stuff.
Who's this we? I thought you were boycotting What If.
Oh no, I will watch it as long as my eyes aren't bleeding out of my face, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, if it's fucking horrid, I'll stop watching it, but I will suffer through the animation for the story.
I can't wait to really test this with Hawkeye. I'm so hoping for a maximum level of bros.
Again, I will set the rules here. If we are like
Charlie, you've opened the. You should hear this list of conditions. It's like the disclaimer at the end of a medicine ad on television.
If there is a bro in the first episode and then a bro in the third episode, look, I'm fine. If it's like the first episode of the comic and they're saying bro every 30 seconds, I just can't watch it. I just can't. Again, maybe if it's limited to the first and that's it, then I will suffer through it. And if there's no more bros, I will have you guys let me know the bro count on future episodes. But I mean, if we're like 10 or 15 bros an episode, I just can't do it. I just can't. I'm sorry.
That's part of the joke, bro.
It's not funny. That's the problem.
I just can't wait to have the Ryan Higgins bro counter for each episode.
Bing, bing.
I just need to get a video, like just set up a video of watching him while he's watching it, and it says
bing.
bro, and he goes like, bro.
Just twitching. My eyes just twitching every time it says bro. Yeah. But we'll talk about some comics here. We got some movies and TVs to talk about in a little bit here. But let's talk about some comic books before we get to that. Our good friend Scott Snyder has done some books, Batman, Detective Comics.
We need to have him on
Metal.
Again.
I'm sure I'll see if I can get him on to talk about these books. I'll give him a chat. American Vampire, Witches.
So good.
I have sold a ridiculous amount of Witches recently. I don't know what's up with that. That book.
Trade?
Yeah, I'm selling a copy a week.
A lot of people are starting to really get on a horror kick, and with all these horror books that are coming around, like with
I recommend it a lot because it's a standalone like one volume thing.
It's got that one volume and then the one shot with the
Jocks. Art's amazing.
But I think that like a lot of people have been looking for horror, and with the Joe Hill comics and like the DC Conjuring, like I think
horror is big
horror
right
books
now.
are starting to make it a comeback in the comic book genre. So I think you're gonna see a lot more people wanting that gruesome, gross and grissom stuff. That's actually good quality stuff.
Gruesome.
Sorry, I've organized a whole bunch of Crossed today, and I wanted to shoot myself in the face. Like, why? Like
that's okay. When you said Grissom, I just thought you were talking CSI for a moment.
Yeah, for a second. No,
John Grisham comics.
Can anybody explain to me what the premise of Crossed is? Besides, it's this zombie-ish thing.
It's Walking Dead with rape.
Yeah, that like it. I mean, literally, it's.
I can't. It's too much for me. Like I'm not a prude, but like it's just
it's
gross to be gross.
Somebody people turn like in 2 seconds, and then they're literally trying to fuck the thing that's right next to them, and I'm like, it's a rough series. It went on for a long time, and a lot of big creators worked on it. It just Justin Gordon was on it. Garth Ennis started it. Like
they have big names. It was just too much for me. I've read a couple issues, and I'm like, nah. This
through so many issues, going, let me try and understand this. It was so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
But Scott Snyder has launched.
He's a cool dude.
An absolute major, one of the biggest deals I think ever in the comic industry. An 8-book deal with Amazon, Comixology, and Dark Horse Comics. So this is going to be a series, 8 different titles to start through Best Jacket Press, which is his self-publishing company.
Yeah.
This is going to be originally on Comixology as part of their Comixology,
originals.
And through the Comixology, like unlimited, their monthly payment. The one-time fee payment or one-time a month payment for all the Comixology stuff. But then published in various formats through Dark Horse. So the whether it's single issues or graphic novels, all that stuff's going to come through Dark Horse. So there will be physical copies of all this stuff available. So if you don't like digital, there's this. Shortly after there will be.
Physical versions of it be floppies or digest size or graphic novel size, because I know that a couple of the titles are YA, and those tend to run like the smaller size.
Yeah, I don't know that I haven't read of any specific format. If you've seen something, let me know. But I haven't seen any specific.
No, I'm just going. I'm going based off of what the thing I read was. They were printing floppies and straight to graphic novel, but it's just
I would.
The YA books are not as big as the graphic novel, and then the kids ones are a little bit smaller than that.
Sure, none of these jump out to me as only one or maybe one of them, but I expect. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't do single issues on all these because there's so much money in the variant covers and special editions and stuff. But real quick, I'm going to run down. I'll also read a very brief. Description of this. Newsarama had a nice rundown of all these, and so some very brief descriptions of what the books are going to be. So we have Demons. Oh, and I also don't know, like some of these are going to be miniseries, some of these are going to be longer. So, I think they'll have more announcements of those as they go on. We have Demons. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. It is Spawn meets Batman meets Metal. Out of control horror series follows a teenage kid who discovers a clandestine between good and evil, involving secret societies and monsters. So it's, obviously if you've liked, their work together on Batman and Capullo's Spawn stuff, I'm sure this is right up your alley. Barnstormers by Scott Snyder and Tula Lote. Funny enough, Newsarama calls her Lula Lote. Scott Snyder describes it as a high-flying adventure romance set just after the First World War. That looks fantastic. I'm really excited for that one. Well, I guess I don't have to see if Scott Snyder's writing all these because he's writing all these. Book of Evil is where is he? With Jock. It's a story about a Stephen King-esque coming-of-age story following 4 adolescents living in a near future where most of humanity are born psychopaths. And we were just talking about witches. Jock was the artist on that. Dan Panosian. I don't know that I've ever said his name out loud. Canary is the name of the book. It is a late 19th century Western horror series.
Ooh.
You check that out. Scott Snyder and Francis Manipool doing a book called Clear. It's a sci-fi mystery set in a strange future where everyone has a constant neurological internet connection. As you can imagine, there's problems.
Problems with the internet?
Yeah. Duck and Cover is Scott Snyder and Raphael Albuquerque. This manga-influenced series is a throwback to post-apocalyptic story set in 1955 America. Jamal Ingle and Scott Snyder are where are we? Dudley Datson and the Forever Machines people. Oh, this is the young adult one you were talking about, Brock.
Oh, okay.
Book could be a comparison to Molly Danger. Dudley Datson and the Forever Machine is about a boy, his dog, and a time machine. Yeah, there you go. Night of the Ghoul, Francisco Francavilla. Apparently he teased this before. I don't remember seeing this. It's a Hollywood horror story about a lost film whose reels are said to be haunted. Cool. So yeah, go sign up for those 8 comics at your local comic shop when they're solicited. Otherwise, you can just buy them Comixology or buy them physically when they came out, because I'm sure there's going to be just these should all do very, very well. That Scott Snyder guy is pretty good.
He's got a following.
Talking about big moves. I believe we're supposed to hear very soon that someone is picking up once again all of Brian Michael Bendis's work, all his creator-owned content, leaving DC after only a few short years, and going to a new company, Image. I don't know where, but I'm sure we'll find out. I'll be very surprised if it's not.
Well, isn't it just going to be what's Bendis'
it's all
company?
All his career. Yeah, Jinx World. Yeah, all the Jinx World.
It's just going to be Image, Jinx World.
It's going to be Image. It's going to be Image. But Image has yet another classic series returning after years away, and that is Astro City, as well as almost all of Kurt Busiek's creator-owned comics that were at Wildstorm and Image previously and had moved over from all the other books. I think COVID delayed this. Basically, all the Astro City stuff had slowly been going out of print from DC since the last series ended, and DC and Warner Brothers have sort of been letting go the creator-owned content, funny enough, just to start it back up with James Tynion and Nice House and other books coming up. So I'm wondering if this was a previous management decision that caused them to lose all these things just to have the new people started back up again. But what are you going to do? Now, it's weird because it only says digital. So Image is now releasing all of his content. Astro City, Aerosmith, Wizard's Tale, Shock Rockets, Superstar. They're all coming out through Image, and they're all coming out digitally. There's going to be new material as well. Again, I have to assume physical copies of all this is in the works.
Well, people have wanted a Astro City like compendium or omnibus for how long?
Oh man, again, Astro City should be available in standard like fat 12 issue, 6 to 12 issue soft covers, 12 issue oversized hardcovers, omnibus. I mean, this is a book that should be in every format forever. And you know, Astro City had a lot of one shots and specials and miniseries. A sort of like kind of, I feel, until they did that second run at Vertigo, I feel kind of made the series a little hard to follow.
I mean, the Dark Age. You could just call
they should just release that stuff just straight through in collections and nice big compendiums. So just don't worry about what's what. Just do it in order. You know, Dark Horse has been doing this with Hellboy, right? It's like, fucking don't worry about where this goes. Just follow the compendium. I've stopped actually. Most of the soft covers are out of print. The standard volumes for Hellboy, I've stopped doing it because the compendiums are the best way to read Hellboy. Like, there's no reason to buy those old editions now because it's so confusing because they jump all around and it's like. There's other specials, like just buy the little softcover omnibuses.
Didn't they do that with BPRD too?
Yeah. They've been recollecting a lot of BPRD in nice big fat collections.
BPRD has that horrible thing of,
but they still have those are still like that. The BPRD is still in a number of different series. I wish they would just do a straight BPRD.
What's funny is like they at some point they decided, oh no, or I don't know. I guess it's been going on the whole time. Is the actual number of the book is inside, but on the cover is whatever the story arc is at the time. But now it's not just BPRD; it's BPRD Hell on Earth.
Well, and BPRD and Hellboy, and it's like it's so endlessly confusing. But big news. Kurt Busiek obviously is, you know, Astro City's had its problems.
You're not coloring for a barcode.
Also, this is on Newsarama, and they spell Astro City with a small c. So, editors, please.
They don't have those. People are supposed to write out this.
I like Chris Arendt a lot. Chris, capitalize your Astro City. Just lots of leave the misspellings to Bleeding Cool. Okay, leave the incorrect grammar to Bleeding Cool. Okay.
I thought you gave that up.
And look for Image to make a similar announcement for Brian Michael Bendis. I would be shocked if it ended up anywhere else. I can't believe it'd be anywhere other than Image. All right, a couple other things comic wise. It's not comic specific, but it's about toys, but it's comics. If your name is Brock Sager,
my name is
the
Brock
only
Sager.
thing we've talked about for the last 3 years has
God
been
damn it, I need it.
The location of your Catwoman wedding dress statue from DC Direct, based off the Julia Jones art from Catwoman number 50.
It's amazing. Kevin, you laugh, but you secretly want one too?
Catwoman 50 came out like 100 years ago at this point.
I'm sorry. Who is it? Who was the designer, Ryan? You kind of blew right past that.
Julia Jones, right?
Yes?
Jones.
Are you making
Joelle
a joke?
Jones?
Yes.
Oh, Joelle Jones. What did I say?
Yes.
Joelle Jones. Joelle Jones.
Joelle Jones.
I just
Who is
like
this Joelle Jones?
You've never heard that name out loud either.
apparently Joelle Jones. I apparently don't know how to pronounce her name. Look, it's her first Monday. Give me some.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
If you were waiting for that and more from
DC
Direct, have some hope, because Todd McFarlane Toys has not only launched the DC Multiverse line of very high quality DC figures,
and people are digging those things.
DC and Warner Brothers Consumer Products, which is basically where DC Direct got folded into. They announced a global licensing agreement to deliver a new line of McFarlane Toys, statues, busts, and figures under the DC line of collectibles, as well as managing all of DC Direct's current inventory starting in 2022. So they're going to have all the stuff that DC's been doing, all the stuff McFarlane's been doing, the announced stuff like the Batman 66 toy line, continue the multiverse, all the other stuff they're doing. There's also going to have the DC Designer Series, which were the action figures, Batman Black and White statues, the Harley Quinn Red, White, and Black statues, and other toy lines, and new products that McFarlane will design. Things like the Todd McFarlane Black and White statue, although available through other formats or through other locations, like Sideshow, I think had a small run. Big Bad Toy Store maybe did. The ones being held for comic stores look like they're going to finally be released by Tom McFarlane. So this is stuff that was made 2018, 2019 and got stuck due to COVID. DC Bombshells, Cover Girls, DC Essentials, Gallery, Artist Alley, which are like the con editions and everything. So all that stuff is going to be starting to come out
Bombshells
through
McFarlane.
So that's great. That is fantastic. Those are great figures all along. I'm really excited that McFarlane's.
I might just have to create a TikTok account for the joy that I'm going to receive when I finally get my Joelle Jones Catwoman statue, and then I'll post it on Twitter so Ryan can.
Wait, is that statue officially solicited?
Like 3 years ago.
No, but I mean, does it have a current date?
No. It says the McFarlane DC products should be the DC Direct products should be available starting in 2022. So they have to resolicit all that stuff. There's no way, because we had orders through Diamond. Then those orders got transferred over to Lunar. Remember, that was a year and a half ago. Yep. And we had orders for like a year prior to that, at least a year.
And that Joelle Jones statue was supposed to come out last September. Like the week prior, they made the announcement that the merger announcement where they were consolidating everything.
Well, everything got thrown to.
I saw that statue on someone's Instagram. That's why I was thinking that it was out already. Or
I believe some
Sideshow got it. Sideshow, I think, got some.
Yeah. I think some of the bigger like Entertainment Earth Sideshow, because I know like we're going to get a small batch of the figures that were supposed to be out right at COVID, which were like the Injustice, the first line of not Injustice, the Deceased. We're getting the first line of Deceased figures. I actually ordered them through Sideshow because this was before this announcement, and Sideshow's like, "Hey, we're getting a batch of these." So it seems like some of them are getting out through other vendors, but not most. And there's still the ones that were supposed to go through Diamond. What's funny? Supposed to go through Diamond, then they're supposed to go through Lunar. They're not going to go through McFarlane, which in theory should go through Diamond. So we get our McFarlane. Well, we get our McFarlane stuff from Entertainment Earth, but they'll be available, hopefully, from both sources.
Yeah. But you'll still order them from Entertainment Earth.
Maybe. Some of that stuff is significantly cheaper through Diamond. It just depends on what it is.
Okay.
Like, I don't mind paying like $1 extra if we get them, way, way, way far in advance. But there's been some figures that Entertainment Earth, I'm like, oh, you're like $5 more. Like, I'll get it through Diamond. That's too much. I think it was like, what was it? It was something recent I looked at. Maybe the SH Figure Arts, they were like way too expensive through Entertainment Earth. Their markup was like really high. What are you going to do?
Patiently wait.
Also, during the last week, while we were off, again, if you don't remember this, during the pandemic, Jim Lee
during the pandemic? We're still in the pandemic.
Well, during the start of the pandemic, Jim Lee was going to do 60 sketches in 60 days to all be auctioned off to go to comic book stores through the BINC or BINC Foundation. And while that clearly went off the rails, we got most of them out. And then, life obviously got in the way. We talked about this pretty regularly when they were first coming out. The final one was a Jason Todd Hush era sketch. So during that,
early Red Hood.
No, not Red Hood, right? This is, if you remember in Hush, that was pre-Red Hood, right? So this is when he was.
That's right.
He had the trench coat and everything. So which sold for $25,000, of course. His 60 sketches sales through eBay for these again, quote unquote sketches. They're like finished pieces of work. $800,000.
Jesus, almost $1 million.
Almost, yeah.
Holy shit!
Shut up, $1 million. Just over $800,000 were collected. Between all 60 sketches that have all gone towards BINC. And yeah.
So I'm just waiting for the nice deluxe hardcover of all of the
They have to.
They
have to.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like you want to support, then just do that extra thing, right? Like, give people just that nice collection of all of those, because those are really, really amazing.
And they can even get colorists, like different colorists and people to come in and like color each one, so you can have like double page spread, black and white, the sketch on the one side, the color version on the other side, kind of a finalized version, some commentary or something like that. They have a chance to do a really cool art book with this. Maybe they'll work with McFarlane when the DC stuff comes up, and they can do the oversized gallery editions on this. Gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous stuff.
All amazing pieces, and it's just in the spirit of why he did it. It's just adding to it. Right? You can that $800,000 now turns into well over $1 million with the amount of people that would potentially pick this up.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. If they made a big art book on that, no question asked. Yeah, I'm very, very curious to see if they end up doing something with that. All right, we've got some movie and TV stuff to talk about here. A couple quick hits, and then I do real quick want to talk about Sweet Tooth, because I ended up watching the finale of that, so
I've only seen 2 episodes.
We'll keep it short.
I read it. I know what happens in general.
They cast Batgirl. So while we were gone, Leslie Grace, who is one of the stars of In the Heights, she's going to be the HBO Max original film version of Batgirl. So that will. I don't know that there's.
When did they announce that?
Date. I mean, they announced this like last week while we were on break, or 2 weeks ago.
That's when the internet went crazy. Got it. Okay.
So they cast her. So, this will be in the next couple of years. There's a series of movies that will be on HBO Max only. They're not going to be released theatrical. So there are original movies to HBO Max, and Batgirl's one of them. It'll be directed by Bad Boys for Life directors Adil El Arbi and Bilal Afala. So
Bad Boys for Life was not bad. I enjoyed it.
And Christina Hodson, who wrote the script for Birds of Prey and The Flash. She'll be writing the script for this one too. So keeping it in the family. Yeah. So curious to see what they do with this new Batgirl. Obviously a number of years away, but always like it when we get casting. It's obviously unless you're the internet and a racist asshole, there's not a lot to say until we see the movie. We start seeing sets and casting and costumes and stuff. But we'll keep a tab on that. Batgirl's a favorite of most of us on this podcast, so I think should have a lot to say when that comes out. Now, this is one of the bigger stories in the last couple of weeks, and I want to kind of go around the table and get everyone's opinion on this. Scarlett Johansson, who is now done with Marvel and the Marvel movies, she's out. Black Widow's was her final role. There's no, at this point, I believe it was part of this lawsuit we'll talk about here in a second, but I believe it was announced that she's now done. She sued Disney for a breach of contract due to the Disney Plus Premier Access release of Black Widow. Disney intentionally induced Marvel's breach of the agreement without justification in order to prevent Miss Johansson from realizing the full benefit of her bargain with Marvel. Obviously Marvel and Disney, and there's been a lot of comments about this over the last week. Actresses or actors get paid a certain amount based on box office revenue, and Disney Plus Premier Access obviously sidesteps that. I'm sure there are people. Well, I'm not sure there are people. I know for a fact there are people, because they've told this to me, that who cares? She got tons of money. What does she need more money for? To which my response is, Disney also has tons of money. What do they need more money for? Pay the actors what they deserve. Whatever she got off the box office, she should get the same cut from Disney Plus. Sorry, Disney. maybe you'll win this lawsuit. I have no idea. I don't know how any of this stuff works. But what should Disney do? They should pay her, because that's the deal. Yes, COVID's led for some funky stuff, and I think we're in for a couple of years of streaming versus theatrical releases, and a lot of these contracts are going to be kind of up in the air, and who knows what's going to happen. And this also could now force Disney to, definitely not release anything on Disney Plus going forward. So goodbye to that, regardless of skyrocketing COVID numbers. But man, Disney, you're in the wrong here. Just whatever the percent is for the theater, pay them the Disney Plus percent. Otherwise, you're going to piss off a lot of people, or you're going to force people to go to the movie theaters during a very bad third wave, possibly the worst wave of COVID infection in the United States. During a time where a lot of people are still not required to wear masks. What do you guys think?
I mean, what I'm still not 100% clear on is if it's that they're not paying at all for the Disney Plus side of it, or if she just feels like it would have made more in the theater if it wasn't for the Disney Plus side of it. Because I have seen some things that suggested she was getting paid for the Disney Plus purchases, but under like the streaming side of the contract.
A couple articles says the star attempted to renegotiate her contract after Disney announces plans to pivot and release it in theaters and on Disney Plus premiere the same day. They were unresponsive to the renegotiation request. Another request was in 2019 that they asked for assurance that Black Widow would remain a theatrical only release. She will lose roughly $50 million because of the dual release. So that was money that she was should have got from the theatrical release. Now you have to assume, and again, I brought this up, I think 80 million is probably topping out about what Black Widow was going to do, maybe a little bit more, but I think that 60 million's just gravy. I think those are people that would not have gone to the theater. I think the vast majority of that, they would not have gone to the theater because of COVID, because of theaters. So for me, I don't think, I would consider that, if you want to say 80 and 60, the 140, I think that's high. I think Disney made more money on this than they would have. And if Scarlett's take was 75 million, roughly, based on that first opening weekend, then pay up.
I mean, I completely and totally agree with you in terms of that money would not have translated to ticket sales. The only sort of way that I feel like she could kind of claim some level of loss of revenue is just the sort of bad timing of it being one of the early movies to go to theaters and therefore also to a streaming service either very quickly thereafter like some other ones have done, or day and date like other ones have done. But I mean, either way, this is a sort of known factor of any movie going to theaters right now is not going to make the box office it would have prior to the pandemic.
No, and whatever their release streaming, they need to renegotiate that ASAP, because this is now going to affect every movie, right? The vast majority of movies coming out through the rest of this year, assuming they don't get delayed, because it's going to be real bad in the next 6 to 8 weeks. The money these movies would have made in the theater, it's not going to be what they would have. I think a lot of them are not going to be what they would have been normally. I think Disney Plus needs to put everything on streaming for that $30 fee, and I think they need to make that part of the theatrical release window with the same amount of profit percentage or flat dollar fee or whatever it is.
The way things are right now in general is even if they don't go to streaming the same day and date, the window of exclusive theatrical release versus digital is already much shorter. Coming out of the pandemic and stuff with the negotiations and stuff. From what I understand, it's now like a 45-day window on most things, where it used to be a lot longer than that.
And I believe that's 45 with, it'll basically be free, right? I mean, they're not going to they're not going to.
I mean, it depends.
No charge, right? After 45 days.
So the Quiet Place 2 went to Paramount Plus for free, but you could also buy it after 45 days.
Okay.
And there are other movies that have definitely done you can now pay for it. Like Fast and the Furious 9 just went to a rent digital.
Right.
And that stuff. So, I mean, that window is a lot shorter than it used to be.
Yeah, but if it's coming to Disney Plus, they're not going to charge you $30 after 45 days in the theaters. I would think it'll just be part of the cost of Disney Plus.
I would assume that would be part of the cost of Disney Plus at that point. But it's also going to end up on Amazon, on all the stuff for sale at the same time.
Right. And that's a question too. Like, are we getting Blu-rays 45 days after? You know, like, can I pre-order? Because what if Suicide Squad's out, this week? Can I pre-order Suicide Squad on Blu-ray right now?
October.
4K? Yeah.
I was going to say you're probably looking at Blu-rays and stuff 60 days after because they like that exclusive digital window to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my thing with the whole Scarlett Johansson thing is that, I know Disney clapped back at her with like, it's a pandemic and you're just trying to take advantage and blah, 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 blah. And it's like,
no, that's them trying to take advantage, not her. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Like it to me, it was like, it was hilarious because that's, what was it? 60 million they made opening weekend for streaming was the amount.
Yeah.
So that's 60 million minus whatever minor costs they have for, like servers, all that stuff, right? That's all pretty much.
The quote unquote estimated 50 million is not saying she should have gotten 50 million out of that 60 million. No. That math doesn't make any sense.
No. What I'm saying is that when you have this straight streaming, right? Disney is holding most of that money. It's not like the cost of maintaining the server and all of that stuff is insignificant compared to the amount of money that was made off of the $60 million. So, but when you go to the movie theaters, right, there's some, it's all wonky on how movie theaters get stuff. Like if they pay for something, I don't remember exactly what it was, but
I'm assuming Kevin might be more knowledgeable on this, but as far as I understand it, the opening weekend of a movie, the studios make most of that money.
Okay.
And then the subsequent weeks, that percentage gets more and more in favor of the theater, which is why movies with very long legs mean the theater technically makes a lot more money off them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it also depends on what the movie is, because those deals there are some, if you get, I'm just going to throw out Endgame as an example. I don't know this to be a fact, but a movie like Endgame, I think that opening weekend, that studio is taking back 90% of those ticket sales.
Yeah.
The opening weekend. And the theater is going to say, sure, take it, because they know it's going to be around forever, even past that weekend.
Yeah.
But that's why you're paying $10 for popcorn.
Yes. But again, we all knew going in that the numbers were going to be less in the theaters. We knew that, right? The only thing we didn't know was what were the numbers going to be with the streaming, because even though Disney had done this before with other movies, this was the first Marvel movie to hit, and it significantly did better than any of the other ones that they did this way. So, and it's a new form of getting money for the movie. So why wouldn't you renegotiate the contract to be as fair or as equitable or the same as it would have been before? So for me, it's like, yeah, Disney, you could have done the right thing and didn't do it. And, because if you look at Warner Brothers, right? Have we heard anything regarding anybody in the Dune movie? Anybody in the Suicide Squad movie? Anybody
Well, I think yeah. I think there was.
Oh, did we?
You've seen. God, I could remember.
They did that. They did that after the fact deal with Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot.
Right.
Well, they did that
For Wonder
before
Woman.
with them for Wonder Woman. It's when they made the announcement after Wonder Woman that they hadn't worked that stuff out for like any of the other movies that were suddenly going to be under that scenario, which is why a lot of the sort of co-funders were throwing a major fit.
Yep.
After they made the announcement.
But Ryan, here's the prediction. You can put this. I'll put it on the air as a prediction. There's no way this goes to trial. No way.
No.
Because for one huge reason, Disney can't lose.
Yeah.
I don't mean they are unable to lose. I mean they can't lose this case. You lose this case, and
the wheels.
Totally.
Come off everything. Yeah. Well, Emma Stone said like, "Oh, is she now going to sue over Cruella?" Right? I mean, same deals, right? And I'm sure HBO and HBO Max is having a similar thing. I know I don't have it in front of me. I'd have to go look, but multiple creators. I mean, what's his face? Chris Nolan, right? Well, no, Tenet did have that very short theatrical window, right?
Yeah, Christopher Nolan wasn't upset for anything that directly affected him. He was offended as a filmmaker over the move.
But there's I know there were people that were involved in movies that were mad that they were getting on HBO Max for free. But you have to assume Warner Brothers went back and renegotiated with those people.
Yeah, and there were all sort of injunctions and that kind of stuff put in place. Like I know the Godzilla vs. Kong was in there because it was co-funded. Dune was in there. Like most of the
if Suicide Squad
movies were.
If they didn't come after, I mean, you've seen how much James Gunn's been promoting Suicide Squad and all the actors. If they didn't compensate those people for the HBO Max release, there's no way we'd be seeing the promotion we are for that movie, right?
Well,
they had to.
So here's where I'm in general curious. So I know Scarlett Johansson, I'm sure, went back and negotiated when they decided to do her solo movie because I think she was out of contract at that point already. Because I know that was one of the big deals early on in the Marvel stuff is they had signed all these people on for like 6 movie deals and whatnot, but it was just Robert Downey Jr. that had negotiated to get the percent of the box office kind of stuff. So, like, I'm sure people that have extended their contract have now got that in there, but I'm sure this isn't something that they do for large cast movies normally. It's typically the uber star that gets that box office.
No, didn't Robert push for that for the rest of the MCU people? Like,
not as far as I know.
I thought.
I may have missed a story, but
yeah, I don't know. Either way, they don't want a lawsuit to go to court and set precedents, and
but I'm just saying it doesn't. All I'm basically saying is just because somebody's in a movie, even potentially a star of a movie, doesn't mean they have the box office clause in there for their appearance in the movie. Like, there's no way that every member of the Suicide Squad is getting a payout like that.
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. in 2013 was pushing for better pay for the people, the Avengers people.
Better pay is different than a box office bump.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys will have, what do they call it, points, right? Where they're like, they get a certain amount on box office, not a flat rate or, based on sales and streaming numbers and everything. So yeah, I just don't know. I get a feeling, this will not be the end, but it's going to be hopefully quiet. Let me rephrase it. Disney wants us probably to be quiet. So
and the Emma Stone thing is, it's not like Emma Stone's going out in her driveway and calling the press to come. That's her publicist kind of firing a shot up in the air. Like, do you think that story just shows up by coincidence? It's like that's an interesting idea. Maybe we'll think about that too. And then you sit back and wait for Disney to come knock on your door
with a nice big check.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think, in the best case scenario, Scarlett Johansson says, look, COVID is a weird time. We know we'll negotiate for something that makes sense. Disney's like, it's a weird time. We didn't make what we thought. Let's meet in the middle somewhere. In theory, that sounds nice. Hopefully both parties understand. But I'm also not gonna, balk at the idea of Disney paying out 100% because again, they've got the cash, man. Don't pretend like they don't. They're fine. They're fine. After we had like 300 million Disney Plus subscribers or something stupid, plus their overseas the non Disney Plus the package deals. They're fine. A couple other things, and then we'll get to
questions.
We get a couple questions. Yeah, actually, maybe Sweet Tooth we can hold off.
Yes, held off. I'm almost finished with it. So
okay, yeah, we'll hold off on Sweet Tooth again. Came out 9 years ago at this point. So I'll talk about Titan season 3 trailer. Did you guys see the trailer for
when
this?
Did that drop?
Same thing. A couple weeks ago we missed.
I think I watched it a couple weeks ago.
It's good.
I mean, I'm just waiting for the scene in this episode or the scene in this season, right? Because right now Ryan Higgins has scissors to the crotch, right? Boom.
Titans are back, bitches.
And then season 2 is Titans are back, bitches. So I'm just waiting for that season 3 moment that Ryan Higgins just like he has to have a gif of it the second it drops.
Oh, is it not Joker beating Jason Todd to death? Is that not the gift? Barbara looks good. Red Hood looks good. We don't really see Scarecrow, but you see him kind of from behind. But oh man, I'm excited. Titans season 3 should be good. It ended so badly. Like I understand the Donna Troy thing. They should have done that some other way. They want to do Troya. They want to do the black costume, but like the way they killed her was the dumbest crap. Like that. It was season 2 was great, and that put a really sour note on the end. It just made no sense.
Oh, I forgot. She
got like a telephone pole fell on her and she got electrocuted or some shit. Like it is just like, oh, what? No, they didn't kill Donna Troy. Like that wouldn't do anything to her. Oh, she's dead. What? That makes no sense. But whatever. That's fine.
I don't think she's dead. The clay will reform.
Sure. Looks good. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff. And Superman and Lois finale is next week is very soon.
I've heard that story
3.
before.
Okay, Toby's not on this podcast. Nobody listening has any idea what the hell we're talking about here, but can one of you explain why every week Toby posts about the Superman, like he's like, oh, this week it was the Superman and Lois finale.
He's just confused. He watches it very late.
No, it's because multiple times this season, if you don't know that that's not the finale, the episode feels like the finale.
I guess. But there's the like next week on Lois and Clark, Superman and Lois. Like there's still
you don't
more.
Get that if you're watching it through like the CW app or whatever.
Okay.
They don't bother.
Yeah. They're like, we're not going to tack on any of that shit. Nobody watches it anyway.
So the actual finale is
it's bumper for recording times on cable.
I just can't wait for it to be the one episode that doesn't feel like a finale.
Wait, when is the actual finale?
It's like a Dexter barbecue party, and you're like, oh, that was a good season.
It's really soon.
Okay, because I just wanted on the record, because of you guys and all your talk, I am now halfway through this season.
And
it's good.
And do you like it?
I'll hold my thoughts till the finale.
I'm just having 17th. So much fun going like, so if he says he's halfway, what does halfway mean?
Did he stop here? Here is it
August 17th?
Charlie, I don't know that. I'm watching it on the CW, so I just see the little grid of squares. So I don't know exactly what episode number it is.
What happened? Spoilers for like 3 months ago.
I haven't even watched the show.
Oh, I thought I was the only one who hadn't watched it.
No, I haven't watched any.
I gave
CW.
in to peer pressure.
Yeah, you caved. I haven't watched any of the CW stuff.
It's fantastic.
I don't doubt that. I'm like, I'm not going to watch it with ads.
August 17th is the finale, so that week after. So we'll have next week will be Suicide Squad. The week after that will be Titans, Stargirl, and
all right.
And What If
I'm on it.
premiere, and the week after that will be Superman and Lois finale. So lots of movie TV talk.
Sweet Tooth we're doing after that?
Lots of movie TV talk in the next few weeks. But Titans season 3 looks great. Looks great.
Let's hear the questions.
A couple questions. Let's get to these real quick. I got a few. Let me scroll down to the end. So this is from our good friend Travis. He says, okay, so for next week, this week, right? But for next week's podcast, Suicide Squad. Who's watching it in theaters and who's watching it at home?
Home.
Kevin, you going to the theater?
So I have been to the theater literally every week since Black Widow. It's like that broke the seal. And every time there have been fewer than 10 people and there's been nobody within 200 feet of me easily.
Okay. That's good.
So you wear a mask the whole time?
When I was in this past weekend, I was in a gigantic auditorium and there was a balcony section and a lower section. I was literally the only person in the lower section. Like, they were looking down at me with like binoculars from that balcony. So no, I did not wear one in that circumstance. But if it's like a standard, like everyone's on the same kind of in the same room, quote unquote, then I do.
Was that at the Icon?
Yeah. So I'm going to say Suicide Squad, if I can get it done before our Sunday recording, theater. If it comes down to like the deadline is really looming and I can't make it happen, HBO.
Yeah, because at this point, I'm just committed to this year, and we'll see where it goes next year.
You just love your sweat.
I'll be on HBO. Oh, I got the dogs. Got a nice big thing of ice cream. Me, Leanne, kicking back. Lights are low. Hell yeah. Pause button when I get to go to the bathroom. Love it.
I like the scene you described. Sweatpants, ice cream, the dogs, and the lights are low. Like, that's the romantic touch.
Yeah.
Such a dog family man.
Charlie, you guys online? Or you want to go in the theater?
Oh no, we're definitely doing HBO Max, and chances are I'll have watched it a couple of times before we record on Sunday.
Travis also wants to know,
competing for how many times we watched it. Are you challenging
No,
Charlie?
I'm already throwing in the towel. I will have only seen it once.
No, I'm just stating a fact, Brock.
Travis also wants to know if any of us are going to Silicon. Silicon. Hold on. Are we going to Silicon? No relation to Silicon, which used to be Silicon Valley Comic-Con, which used to be Big Wow, which used to be
San Jose's
fill in the blank. What was it called?
There was
SuperCon. SuperCon.
Yeah.
SuperCon. Which used to be SuperCon, which used to be something else. Yes. Silicon. Anyone going? No. The answer is no. I didn't go during Silicon Valley.
I'm going to that San Jose Con. But that's not Silicon.
San Jose Con, which is run by the guy that used to own Silicon Valley or
Big Wow.
Was the owner of Big Wow and SuperCon that sold Big Wow to Silicon Valley Comic-Con that's now Silicon. No relation to Silicon, the other convention.
So to answer Travis's question, no. Because he just called out Silicon, right?
But Shatner's going to be there on Sunday, man. You don't want to see Shatner?
Huh?
No, I'm not going, guys. Sorry, conventions. And last week of August in the Bay Area, let's see if it even happens. Let's see if it even happens at this rate. Mask mandates back on in all Bay Area counties as of tomorrow, as of 12:01 p.m. tonight. All indoor, all indoor
can't wait
settings.
For all the pissed off people.
I'll have a review for you if the con goes forward.
For Silicon, for the
San Jose
Con.
Yeah.
But no Silicon.
To a potential super spreader event.
No Silicon.
Well, it won't be a super spreader if everybody's required to wear a mask going in the door.
Yeah. Hopefully, let's see. You think Shatner's going to wear a mask? Do you think they're
germy people are?
I saw Kevin Conroy some photos from a con he was on, and they had like the glass partition between like all the guests and stuff. So
fun times.
It doesn't do much, but I mean, germs can go up, but like it's something.
Yeah, germs can go down to be breathed down from like a balcony.
Yeah,
Steven.
The only thing that I have been tempted to go to this year, and I'm not going to it, but John Cleese is going to be in the area in October, I think. And I clicked on it, and I clicked on the seating chart, and I'm just like, those chairs look way too close together. Never mind.
What's funny, the one concert that I either wasn't canceled or I didn't cancel, I have in October, and they're from the UK. And again, man, it's all seated. It's not a big jump around thing. No problem wearing masks. It's a seated event. It's not going to be a big thing. I mean, it's a big show, but it's not like a concert where people are going to be screaming at the top of their lungs for the whole thing. That said, I'm betting it doesn't happen at this point. Unless something changes dramatically in the next couple of weeks. I would think anything scheduled for October, people traveling from the UK to the US, ain't happening. We'll see what happens. So Steven, he says, what's a franchise or character you love an aspect of, but you've never been able to get into? For instance, I'm a huge X-Men fan, but I've never cared for the New Mutants. Oh, the X-Men. I think you can like the X-Men and not care about 90% of X-Men stuff, right? I mean, so much of it.
God.
Brock. I'm going to give Brock's answer. I'm going to give Brock's answer for Brock. Brock is a Batman fan. He's a big Batman fan. Nightwing? I don't give two shits about Nightwing. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know why he's on this podcast.
Hold on.
I don't know why me and Toby haven't kicked him off this podcast.
Hold on. Tom Taylor Nightwing's really good.
It is really good. Yeah.
The rest of that Nightwing stuff, it's okay.
Most Nightwing books are great. Nightwing is one of the best characters at DC.
I'm just not into the dick like you are. You set yourself up for the joke. So
how do you not like Dick Grayson, man? He's so good.
I like Mark Grayson.
I mean, someone there was an article on Newsarama today about the COVID books that got canceled by Marvel that have or been postponed that never have come out. And New Warriors is one of those books. It just never happened. And I'm like, yeah, no, don't ever let it happen.
Oh, they'll let it happen.
I love the New Warriors and have actively disliked
the New Warriors.
Actively disliked every New Warriors thing that's happened since the original run for the with the exception of the Abnett Landing Nova stuff. I love the thing and happy when nothing happens with them ever again because they've just ruined those characters forever. So I love the New Warriors and hate any new Warriors thing.
Ryan's going to disagree with my answer, but I'm just going to call that out. I love Hal Jordan, and I miss the days when the rings were just green and yellow, period.
It doesn't bother me.
No, I just said you're going to disagree with it.
No. I was talking to someone about this the other week where I was like, yeah, remember when there was 5 Green Lantern titles or related titles? 5, Green Lantern that was such a moment in time that could handle that, and I don't think we'll ever come back to that point.
We're not going to have Emerald Warriors, Core, New Guardian.
I love the multiple cores, but they were special. They blew it up too much. I like that they've. You should like it now, Kevin, because they've brought it way back. They've trimmed it way back. I mean, when have we seen a Red Lantern or a Green Lantern or a Blue Lantern or any of the Indigo?
You saw Red Lantern in Justice League Odyssey with the cat.
Yeah, a little bit. They've been very careful.
I'm disappointed we don't have more Lara Fleas. I mean,
he's a character that you need to just sort of
curb for
bring
a while
out every Christmas.
Yes, and no other time than that.
Exactly.
He's the Orange Grinch.
All right, final question before we get out of here from Michael. It says, do you guys notice a trend of people going out of their way to find fault with critically, commercially successful creators?
Huh?
And yes, this is this is nothing new and not a comic specific thing.
Is that what you're saying? Yes. Good night, everyone.
Well, no. So he says, I'm thinking of Tom King specifically. I'm a big fan, but there's a lot of chatter looking for reasons to dislike his book. I mean, this is just going to happen with anything. Anything that people like, that a lot of people like, are going to be hated on by people. Any minor slight.
Because there are more people that you can piss off, the more clicks you can get.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of, there are plenty of creators that I don't really care for, but I'm not like sitting there like scream. Well, but even now, like I don't tweet death threats to him every day.
You don't avidly go out your way. You don't avidly.
Like I would never do that.
To be like, oh, Mark Millar is the worst. But occasionally, when he pops up on your radar, you're like, oh God, that Mark Millar guy.
Yeah, there are creators all of us don't like, but it's like, I'm not sitting there and like actively harassing them on a daily basis on social media. And even, again, there's the people that I will definitely poke fun at Rob Liefeld whenever the situation arises, but I'm not tagging him in that. If that's the difference, people. Look, if you don't like a creator and you want to say something, if they're searching out their own name, I mean, whatever, if you're setting up death threats, something different. But if you're like tagging creators and being like, you fucking suck, I hate you, like, what are you doing with your life? Like, but yeah, of course. I mean, people are always going to.
I tag creators on the positive things.
But of course.
Then they'll retweet you.
What? That's.
Yeah.
But this predates clicks and everything. I mean, you could go back to when some blowhard would walk in the comic store, put his elbow on the counter and go, in my opinion, Alan Moore's overrated.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, based on what? Or this art, you know what? This artist doesn't care anymore. Look at how rushed this art looks. And you have no idea. You have no idea.
Or we talking David Finch?
But again, far from a comic thing. I'm sure people at the dawn of cinema were like, I don't know. These actors are terrible. Oh,
Scorsese hasn't made a good movie in 30 years.
Babe Ruth guy, is he really a good hitter? I don't think he is. I mean, look, this is not new. People are always going to hate something. People are always going to be there, bitching about something. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's, I don't want to say it's worse, but it's definitely more noticeable in social media because in the past, like Kevin said, a guy walking into a store and complaining, only the guy sitting behind the counter hears it. Now, every person on earth, in theory, can yell at someone if they're on some sort of social media, and there's a chance the person will see it. So,
wait, an old man yelling on social media? Are you just describing yourself?
Again, I don't yell on social media at people directed, hate and death threats and stupid anger like that. Having occasional comments, poking fun at stuff is one thing. I have a pretty clear opinion on the X-Men franchise now that we're, 2 years post Hickman and fuck all's happened. And that story is just spinning in circles and clearly is not going to resolve itself. And now Hickman's off the X-Men books and oh well, so much for that. Right. But I'm not like hassling the guy regularly, daily, telling him he's ruined the X-Men.
Why can't you finish shit? You have Secret Service you never finished. You have 5, and even if 7 other titles you never finished.
And I'm like, I don't really care about the X-Men anyway. Even if it was something I do care about, it's like, oh well, what are you gonna do? Like, just move on to something else. So, yeah. Unfortunately, this will never stop. Far from the first. It's not just comics.
Did we answer the question? Was the question, does it happen?
Well, he's like, does it feel like? Do you notice it more? Do you notice it?
Yeah.
With the internet, because of animosity, you notice it way more.
I think so. Yeah. And there is, specifically with Tom King, there was that psychopathic Poison Ivy fandom that has been harassing that dude for years, and I think they're out of their goddamn minds. As a creator, I don't know how you block that stuff. I guess you just mute and block accounts constantly and just don't worry about it, or you just never look at your replies. I guess that's another way to do it. Just turn off, filter replies.
Hasn't Twitter now put in that you can block virtually everybody from applying to something?
Yeah, you can. But people can still message, people can still at you at anything. So, like, it doesn't stop. But
Ryan, when's the last time you blocked someone?
Yes,
do you remember?
I mute people, I don't say regularly, but regularly enough. So what happened with me was I did a huge, like, mass block of Comicscape people, but the problem is that blocked people unintentionally. They didn't mean to, so I actually went through and I cleared my block filters and then just have gone back through and selectively. I mean, I'll block people if they harass me or if they're, like, absolute fucking pieces of shit. And it's minimal. It hasn't happened often. I mute people.
I love how you take my shit. You haven't blocked me
regularly enough, but not like daily or anything like that. I don't get too many people harassing me every now and again, but it's not too often.
Sometimes we get some really good Yelp reviews out of it.
Yeah, occasionally, not too often though. So, yeah. I don't like. Yeah, I really only do it if someone's sending me something specific. If I see idiots replying to other people, I'm never going to see those again. I just don't look. So I don't read the replies too often. All right. That is it. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you for our wonderful wonderful Monday podcast. We should be back next Monday, assuming everything is going well. We have to thank our high-tier backers, Joe Duff, Craig Anderson at ClearPathCoaches.com, Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum Podcast, Talon Bray, and do not forget about our good friends over at 9panel.com. They are it's a new website where you're allowed to you can buy, sell comics. They give it like a big comic store run by all sorts of different accounts. Great guys. Make sure you go check them out. It's at 9panel.com. Check out comicspiracypodcast.com, Apple Podcast, and Spotify for all our previous episodes. I know the last episode people said Spotify was either late or didn't go up. That's not really in our control. Spotify pulls when it pulls. I don't know when things don't go up on.
Weird lately.
Yeah, I can't push it. Spotify just pulls when we put episodes up, so I don't. It's just all automatic. I don't have any control over it. I don't set it up. I don't do anything with it. They just pull from
the feed that you have.
Libsyn. So yeah, like I didn't request it. I didn't start it. I don't control it. I don't maintain it. That's all Spotify. So you have to talk to them. Patreon.com/comicspiracy is where you can go to pick up. We can go to give us a couple bucks, and there's a Q&A thread on there. Prioritize those questions. So add some questions to that Q&A thread, please. And, of course, comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can go buy some comics from us. Pick it from the store, get shipped. Brock's been doing crazy amount of shipping recently.
Our
little warehouse working out. And
we're chiseling away at that wall of long boxes.
We're getting there. And
I'm going to put my workbench in. I sent you a list of some needed necessities, but
I saw it. I'm going to get them. Don't forget to visit conspiratorbrock.com. It's Brock's blog. Pull us and unboxing videos over there. Wanders in the Fourth Dimension podcast. Lots to talk about, Charlie. New doctor, new showrunner. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
Well, honestly, my main concern at the moment is it's a little crazy to be doing this right before the 60th.
Yeah, getting through Jodie Whittaker's final season. It's 3 seasons is about normal. That's what they've kind of mostly done.
3 seasons is about normal, and the fact they're doing the specials after that is very similar to what they did with Tenet.
Yeah, same thing.
But
so that take a kind of like a break year.
In theory, a new Doctor and the 60th will all be happening in the same year.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time for Doctor.
And a new showrunner. So I'm kind of hoping that I'm hoping Russell T. Davies or Stephen Moffat will agree to co-produce or something going into the 60th. Because I just think they need a known quantity for the 60th, most likely.
Yep. Lots of more Doctor Who talk on the Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. And don't forget Between the Panels at fanbasepress.com. That's Kevin's weekly interview series. All sorts of great creators on there that Kevin interviews. Writers, artists, and everyone in between. LeanneHill.com. That's my wife's website. You can see all her artwork on there and go over to her Etsy shop at etsy.com/shop/LeanneHillArt. can pick up some art from her on Etsy. And we also have all our art at the store as well, and on comicsconspiracy.biz. Exactly. If you're on Twitter, you can follow myself. I am Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie is Insanity in Chaos. Kevin is that Kevin Sharp. And the store is ComicsCon Store. And Geekbox is every other Monday now, so check me out on there. So we should have an episode next week. And then Manga Nations, I've been on that podcast a number of times. They talk a lot about manga and anime. It actually just relaunched a whole new YouTube series, a whole new YouTube channel. They've got all sorts of new stuff over there. Just search Manga Nations. You'll find all that there. All right, thank you guys very much. We will be back next week for a brand new episode. And next week should be Suicide Squad talk. So maybe we'll have something else on top of that, but definitely Suicide Squad will be the majority of our conversation. Sorry, the Suicide Squad. We'll see you next week.